Hey YouTube, it's Jermaine. It's currently April the 2nd, and I know it's been a while since I uploaded anything. Um, I'll actually tell you what happened this weekend on my next video. But this video is going back towards March the 7th, which is when I went to MEPS and completed my swearing. Now, MEPS. Oh, MEPS. Military Entrance Processing Station, MEPS. That day has been the longest day that I could think of thus far this year. So, okay, so this is how it happened. So the night before, which is on the previous video that I recorded like a little bit, we went to this hotel room for the night before, and then we had to wake up at, I want to say like 4:30 in the morning. And then from there, woke up, we got dressed, went downstairs, and then we ate breakfast, did roll call, got on the bus, and then from the bus we went to base, which is in New Orleans on the naval base, Naval National Guard Army. From there we stood outside in line. I want to say we stood outside for maybe 15-20 minutes or so. Then once we got inside, we had to stand up, and they did like a little check, like standing formation, do our little check. And then from there, we went to the recruiting office. And of course, I'm in Louisiana National Guard, so I went to the National Guard office. From there, we had to wait and wait and wait, get our little packets and everything. And those who had to take a test went to take the ASVAB test. Those who had to do other things had to do that. The first thing that I did was actually I got my packet. Then I had to go. I had to do my height and weight, and then from height and weight, I had to get my blood pressure done. I had to do my vision. The vision wasn't that bad. It's like, regular taking regular eye exam. Um, it was a little confusing though, because if you didn't look into the lens right, like, not say there's a wrong or right way, but you know how sometimes those who wear glasses, if you look into the lens, you can actually see what they're talking about. But I felt that looking into it, and I'm not saying the guy did it on purpose, but when I was looking into it, it's like it was blurry, but there were like the big letters, and I mean, I could have seen that clearly, but it was a little blurry for me. And then I said, well, something's not right. So then when I look back, it was okay. And I kid you not, he did something to the machine, and that's when it adjusted. So I passed that. And then the next thing, I actually went to the hearing. Now the hearing test was to me it was funny how it happened, because we went into like this soundproof room, and it was like five of us in there at six stations, and we had to put like the earphones on, and then listen to the instructions, and there was a beep. Now, for those of you that's going to MEPS and have to take that hearing test, when they say to be quiet and listen to that beep and press the button, make sure you press it. It's on a timer, so you press it as soon as you hear it, you press it. So I don't know if I was tripping or what, but I got the first few. I'm sure I got them all right because I passed it. But listening to the beeps, I felt like I was hearing beeps like just constantly going off. I don't know if it was just left ear, left ear, left ear, then the right ear, right ear, right ear, then they both was going off, and then I want to say like after a little while I didn't hear anything for like a good minute. Then I heard something, and I was just pressing the button, and then I didn't hear nothing for a little while, and I was like, "What? I'm not hearing nothing." But then all of a sudden, I'm hearing other things. So I don't know if it was the sound that was still in my ear, and I was just pressing the button or what. But I passed the hearing test, so that was good. But again, for those of you that's going to take the hearing test, I'm sorry. Please, please, when they say quiet, be quiet and listen. What I did was I closed my eyes and I had my hand on that little buzzer. And when I heard it click, and I heard it click, and I heard it click, the next thing after that was I had to go to, I did the urine test, or, pee in a cup, basically. Stood in line, peed in the cup. They did all that. Now, I know the whole MEPS experience, you're nervous. You don't know what to expect at MEPS and all that stuff. But there was this one guy, I don't remember his name, but hygiene is one of the best things that you can do when you go to the restroom. Personal hygiene, and everybody should know after you use the restroom, you wash your hands. So one of the recruiters that was there, he was from the Coast Guard. This guy was using the restroom. Once he finished and used the restroom, um, you bring your cup to the window, then you go wash your hands because they don't want you to like wash your hands right then and there. So he, the Coast Guard recruiter told the guy to throw the cup in the trash. So he threw the cup in the trash and he just literally walked out. So the recruiter was like, "Hey, um, you're not gonna wash your hands?" So he went up and he went to wash his hands and she's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Like he was stuttering a little bit. I'm like, dude, you just finished using the restroom, wash your hands. So there was another guy, and he did everything, but instead of throwing his cup away, like once you pour the pee into the cup that you need to send off, he actually kept the cup that he peed in, put it on top of the urinal, washed his hands, grabbed the cup, and walked out. And everybody was looking at him like, why did he leave with the cup? So the Coast Guard guy went get him and asked him like, hey, are you gonna you're recycling that cup or are you gonna use it or anything like that? So he's like, no, no, I was gonna throw it later. There's a trash can right here, dude. Why you don't just throw it there? Again, it's expected to be nervous and at MEPS. After that, we sat down like right next to the little hallway. Um, we had to get blood drawn. Drew the blood. The guy that I had, I don't remember his name, but he was good. He had some music going on, and I like music. Music calms your nerves, but the only thing is, you couldn't have your phone um, behind there, while you were going through your MEPS processing. So, got my blood. After that, I went to sit in the lobby and I had to wait to meet up with one of the doctors. And then doctor finally called me, or maybe after about like 10, 15 minutes. The good thing is they had some TV going on. So about 10, 15 minutes, doctor calls me into the office. Again, I can't remember her name. I don't remember half the people's name there. All I knew is mine. Um, So getting there with the doctor, she actually goes through your whole packet, questions like, about surgeries in the past, your vision, your hearing. She sees everything. She initials everything that she has to do. She asks if you have any questions. And like literally, when they say, when your recruiter tells you to list everything in your medical history, make sure you list everything in your medical history, okay? Um, and your recruiter's gonna go over that with you. I mean, if you just went in like this, like for some stitches or something, I mean, you don't have to report that. I mean, at least I didn't. And I was fine. I did report my tonsil surgery because that was like a major, major surgery, tonsil and adenoidectomy. I reported that. Then after I did that, I went into another little room which was diagonal across from there, and it was like a little classroom, and we had to like sign some more paperwork. Um, in there, we got a form about how many tattoos you have, and if you have any tattoos, you have to list the tattoo, where it's at, the meaning of it. Um, Again, you have to write down your medical history, your surgeries, if you had anything. Now, mind you, the paper that the doctor read to you, or went through with you, well, with me, because everybody went like at different times to different stations. But she read my packet from what I wrote, my medical history I wrote with my recruiter. Now, this time is what I'm actually writing down on paper at the MEPS station itself. So I wrote down my tattoo, which I have this one, which is Sagittarius sign, and it's my birthday. Um, that was the only issue that I had. Well, the only tattoo that I had. There was a guy in there. He had tattoos like all over his body. Um, it's okay if you have tattoos, in the military. Just try not to get anything below your wrist. If so, I don't know what you have to do below your wrist, but I know on your arm, your sleeve, you'll have to wear like long sleeve shirts or something, or Under Armour. Um, so after that, we were signing paperwork and everything initially. Um, Now, one thing I can say, if you are interested in going to the military or anything like that, and you don't know, like when I say they check to see what happened to you, like back then, whether it was traffic ticket, court, felony, drugs, or all that stuff like that. Um, See if you can get a copy of everything because you're gonna need basically the dates. Because I remember after I did that paper, I had to go meet with. I met with. Um, what was it? I would. I would. It wasn't. It was something similar to like a security clearance, but it was in the recruiter's office. I had to go, and there they literally went through my whole packet, and they was asking me questions, this and that. But some of my dates wasn't matching up because I didn't realize they was gonna pull stuff back from like my freshman year of college, which was like 2005. But they pulled like a few traffic tickets, a it wasn't it was a resisting arrest, but I wasn't arrested. It's a long story, but let's just say they pulled that up. It was cleared, but they pulled that up. Um, and that was like since 2008, and we're in 2017. Um, but the dates for that didn't match. Like the year matched, but the month didn't match. So I had to go back and like try to figure out like somewhere close. But the thing is, when they pulled it up, they gave me the exact date. So the guy he was kind enough to give it to me, and I had to just go write down a statement saying, um, I Tremaine, blah 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 blah, was uh, what's the word I'm looking for? What did I say? I mistakenly wrote down the dates for when I receive a ticket, resisting arrest, and something like that. And you just sign a date to give it to them, and they'll be good, and then they'll continue on with the clearance. Now, after that, um, as we're going through the thing, people are just getting sworn in, sworn in, sworn in, sworn in. Well, after that, I had to go into the most important, or one of the most important things, the I don't even know what the room. I'm gonna just call it the exam room. Well, oh, look, I have this right here. Don't pay no mind to that. Um, the exam room. So when they told me I had to walk into the exam room, that is what when I walked in there, it's not what I was expecting. So I just walk into there, and all of a sudden I see it's cold. Like I don't know the temperature, but it's cold. But I walk in there, and it's like a whole line of a bunch of males just all in their boxers. I'm like, oh wait, I'm in the wrong room. So the doctor said, "Oh no, you're good. You're in the right room. Just take off all your clothes down to your underwear and have a seat, and we'll call you when we're ready." I was like, "Okay," but I mean, I researched everything prior to going to MEPS just to see what to expect and what I would look for, but I kind of forgot about this part. So we get in there. It's freezing cold. We're down to our boxers. I mean, like literally just boxers or underwear on everything. And word of advice: don't wear a thong. Males, don't wear a thong. I can't speak for the females, but they'll tell you don't wear that. Males, wear boxers or briefs. It will be cold. Wear boxers or briefs. And um, please clean your ears. Because there was a guy there and he literally had to wait till he cleaned his ears. Like they literally had to go clean his ears. Um, Brush your teeth, clean your ears, make sure your feet are clean. basically, take a good bath prior to coming. So what we did was the doctor, and again, I can't remember his name. It was two doctors, a male and female this time. We all had to stand up in line. We actually made two lines, and we had to do several different things that they asked us. Let me see if I can remember them all. Uh, One of them, we had to, um, well, first what they did was they checked our heart, then they checked our lungs, then they checked our mouth, they checked our eyes. We had to put the lights off. We had to look in each. They looked in each eye. They checked each ear. Um, what we had to do was stand up on one foot, lift each leg up, like bend it back, and I forgot, one of the doctors passed behind and just checked our feet, and then what else did they do? They did something else with the foot, but I can't remember. And then we had to stand up. We had to kick one foot out and like flex and extend our foot, each foot, the left and the right foot. Then we had to rotate it left and right on each foot. We had to put our arms out. We had to roll our arms back, roll our arms forward. We had to hold our arms out and then drop them. But when you drop your arms, they can't hit at all. They can't hit your sides. You just have to do it and like literally stop. And if you don't know, then Google it. I'm sure somebody on in the YouTube world did a demonstration of it. Um, the next thing we had to do was we had to walk around the room. We did, I think we did 2 laps. We walked slow. The next one we walked fast. One of them we had to walk on the balls of our foot, front and back, and then we had to walk on the heels of our foot, and then it came down to the duck walk. If you don't know the duck walk, I suggest you Google it, research it, YouTube it. It's not hard, actually. It's really not that hard. But basically, you have to squat like a duck, and we had to put our hands behind our back and actually walk like a duck. Like we had to walk forward and back like a duck. And then after you did that, we had to stand up. We had to bend all the way down, touch our toes, and they checked for our back to see. I think it was like scoliosis or something like that. What else did they do? Um, hmm. I can't remember what else they did in there, but we literally was in there for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Mind you, it was cold in there. Then after that, we all had to go sit back down, and then the doctor called us into the other exam room, like the little office area, and we went one by one. So in there, when we was in there, the doctor asked, if we had any questions whatsoever, and then he said, "Drop your boxers." Yeah, drop your boxers. So, males, if you've done a physical exam or anything like that, you you know, duck off. So he checks for hernias, and then you have to turn around, bend over, spread your cheeks. He'll check for hemorrhoids, and that's it. It literally took maybe 5 seconds or something like that. Like it goes so quick. And then after that, you get dressed. Once you get dressed, you go back out. You turn your file in. Then after you turn your file in, you go have a seat by your recruiter's office and you wait to be called, and they'll go over everything with you again. Oh, one thing I forgot to say, which was way back at the beginning. After you get your packet in the morning, you're gonna go into a briefing room. And in the briefing room, what they're gonna do is they're gonna go over rules and regulations that you're gonna hear throughout your whole military career. Sexual harassment, assault, everything. No drugs, alcohol, and all that stuff like that. Which it should be common sense, but there's some people, you know. So back to what I was saying. We'll go sit down in the recruiting office. Now, remember when I said that you needed to get the dates and everything right and all that stuff, and how I had to write like a waiver, basically saying, um, I, Tremaine, yada yada yada, mistakenly wrote the wrong date. Well, originally, I did forget some of the dates, but I was supposed to go through a security clearance with what I had on first, because honestly, I was going into 25 uniform, which was communications, and I needed a security clearance. Well, my security clearance, I guess they had to send it off to the FBI or send it off to somebody. Like, I guess it was, I'm going to say motherboard, but it's not motherboard. They had to send it somewhere. I can't remember what it was. But they needed to get a clearance from them in order for me to continue on, because without that clearance, then I wouldn't be able to do my swearing. So I'm just sitting down there. Now, mind you, at this time, it's like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I ate lunch and everything. I'm waiting. I'm watching people get sworn in and everything like that. Waiting, waiting, waiting. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours pass. I want to say like 2 o'clock. I look across and I see the guy from the security clearance. It's another guy, the security interviewer. He's grabbing his stuff and he's leaving 2:30. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I got somebody else and I'm still here waiting. I see people passing, getting sworn in. Okay, still passing, getting sworn in. 4 o'clock comes. No, back it up. It's like 3:45. They finally called me and they say, "Hey, Mr. Rosian, we got your clearance. You're good to go." So then, my recruiter, Sergeant Nicholas, which he is amazing. Thanks, bro. Um, he came get me. He told me that my family was here. And when he told me, he was like, "Yeah, you had like 3 cars out there." I said, "3 cars?" I'm like, "Who was all here?" I didn't realize everybody that was coming. Um, let's see, two, four. I think I had like 6 people, but they came in 3 different cars. Um, so after I got my clearance with the guy, I had to do like some more paperwork, fingerprint. I don't know how many times I done put my fingerprint. I don't know how many times I done signed some papers that whole day, starting at like 6, 7 o'clock that morning ish. Um, 4 o'clock comes. I go into another area where I had to take a picture, which is basically what they're gonna identify me as of now until I would get my actual military ID, which I didn't get yet. Then I had to go do my all 10 fingers again with my fingerprints. Then I came back, and when I came back is when I actually saw my family. It was my mom, my stepdad, my grandmother, my grandfather, my friend Elena, and one of my friends Mackenzie. They all came. Um, so I, 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 I think I swore in. I want to say it was 4:30, between 4:15 and 4:45. I can't remember the time. It was a long, long day, y'all. And oh, don't sleep. Do not sleep. Don't doze off. Don't do anything. Like there were several people who like literally were like dozing off, and they will smoke you. If you don't know what smoke is, Google it. You'll find out. Um, there was 2 people that they smoked. Me, I had like some big long blinks. Like most people just blink like that. Mine was like, and it was like, Mr. Tremaine, wake up, like something like that. And after that, that was it. My eyes were like pierced open, like I'm up. But it does. I'm not gonna lie, it does get boring. Like you're in there all day long. You eat your breakfast, you eat your lunch, and once after lunch, after you eat, that's it. You're ready to go to sleep. Um, but try not to sleep. If you feel like you're sleeping, stand up. And I mean, where we were, there was a kitchen, like a little lobby area you could go sit down in. You can walk around. You can go play like the Xbox. Um, you know, do all kind of stuff like that. I would say something good to do is try to get to know the people that's there. I know if you're going there by yourself like me, you don't know anybody. So try your best to communicate a little bit with the people. I guess try to develop a good relationship with them. You may not see them ever again, but it's just to make time pass. And I didn't really talk to anybody there. I was just there to do what I had to do and get out. Because one, I was tired because I've been up since early that morning. and two, I really didn't know anybody, and it seemed like everybody that was there all had like their little cliques. So it's okay. I mean, I made it through. But the crazy thing is, after that, I actually added one or two people as friends on Facebook, and we've been communicating since then. So I guess it worked out good. Um, Next thing, it was me and this girl. I think her name is Diara. I think it's Diara Prout or Diara Prout. I forgot. Um, we actually were the last two to get sworn in. So we had to go back into the briefing room. We had to watch this like 10-minute video on you're about to be sworn in, some more rules and regulations, things you should and should not do. And then another one of the soldiers came in and walked us in and, demonstrated how we should stand, a parade rest at ease. And then one of the sergeants came in, and oh my god, I cannot remember his name to save my life right now, but it's actually in my swearing video, which you can check on YouTube. It's posted on my YouTube. Um, from there, my family came in, and like I'm literally gonna tell you from the time they say, okay, go into the briefing room, until probably I walked out of the building, I was nervous, like heart palpitating, like, oh Lord, it's like really, 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 really happening. It's really, really real. So get in there. Sergeant comes in. We go through our little briefing. He tells us what to do, what to expect. I'm from Louisiana, so I had one oath, and the Diara, she had one because she's from the Mississippi area. So we had to take our oath. And here they come when they say, raise your right hand. It got real. And right before you take the oath, you will get asked, do you want to continue? Or they say it some way, but I'm going to just say, do you want to continue? Do you want to get? Do you want to still do this? For speak now, forever, who peace, yada yada. I'm like, let's go, let's get it. And here I go. I state your name. I, Jermaine Paul, blah 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 blah. Did that, and I tell you, that has been the longest. I forgot how long my video is, but from the time I started the briefing room until the time I swore in has been the longest minutes of my life. After getting sworn in, I was like, finally, I'm sworn in. And since then, or since March 7th, at that time, I became a United States American soldier. And that was my MEPS experience. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also check out my other videos and stay tuned for the rest of my journey as a United States National Guard soldier.